So we all love the NES. It's one of those beloved systems of all time. But if you love the NES, and who doesn't, then you're probably familiar with this. Now this is a problem that's caused by the 72-pin connector that connects the cartridge to all the fun internal stuff of the system, which tends to go bad since these are so old. Now, a lot of people tend to just buy a replacement on eBay, but I'm not really a big fan of the aftermarket 72-pin connectors because they tend to grip the cartridge too tight, and why spend the money if you don't have to? So what I'm going to do today is tell you how to fix your stock 72-pin connector by boiling it. Yeah, that's right. I said boiling it. Hold on to your butts, this is going to be fun.
First off, a disclaimer. I am in no way responsible for any damage you cause to your NES by trying this method. I can say that I've done it before and it worked. Attempt this at your own risk. The way this works is that the heat will remove all the dirt and grime that's built up on your connector over the years. The pin connector is made from a metal that doesn't rust, so it's safe to put in the water. To start, you'll need a few things. Your NES, obviously, a Phillips head screwdriver, a pot, a cleaned NES game you don't mind possibly getting damaged, and something with a small point like an X-Acto knife or a tiny screwdriver. Start by taking your NES apart by unscrewing the 6 screws on the bottom of the system. Make sure to keep your screws organized since we'll have a lot of them. I try to make sure every screw goes back into the exact same hole I took it out of. Once your system is open, unscrew the metal plate covering everything. If you haven't opened it up before, now is a good time to get some canned air and get some of that dust out of there. Then unscrew the cartridge slot. Again, remember to keep your screws organized. There's 2 more screws in the back corner holding the board down. Take those out too. Once those are off, slide off the pin connector. It's going to fight you, so you need to put some muscle behind it, but be careful. When you have the pin connector off, now's a good time to bend the pins back so they grip the cartridge properly. Don't bend them too far because then they'll grip the cart too tight, and make sure not to break any pins because if you do, there's no fixing it. Now comes the fun part. Boil some water and toss that sucker in. Make sure to use distilled water, or any kind of filtered water will do. It's scary, but you can do it. I believe in you. You should stir occasionally too, because it's fun. After about 5 minutes, remove the connector and let it cool enough to where you can hold it. Then jam that NES cart in about 10 to 15 times. This will bend the worm pins to the right shape. This shouldn't damage your cart, but just in case, make sure it's something that you don't care about too much. Make sure the cart is clean beforehand. Toss the connector back in for about another 5 minutes. And once the time is up, let it cool and dry for about an hour. You don't want to put it back in while it's wet. Then all you need to do is put everything back together. You did keep your screws organized, right? One thing to keep in mind is to not screw the cartridge slot back down too tight. If you do, then it won't push back down, so make sure you test it before you put it all back together.
Alright, now let's see if it worked. And there you have it. If you did it right, you won't even need to push the cartridge down anymore, which means that your pins won't bend and your NES will work better for longer. So have fun and enjoy your freshly working NES.